Well, Sean Lennon here with the Fightlete Report. Check out everything we're doing on Fightlete Report. Also, facebook.com/Fightlete Report. And we've got a lot of interviews coming down the way, a lot of stuff happening. And right now we're welcoming women's featherweight Pam Sorenson to the Fightlete Report. And of course, fighting Roberta Saimad at Bellator 264. Check it out this Friday, August 13th on Showtime. Prelims will be on YouTube Live, and former Invicta FC women's featherweight champion and trains at the Cellar Gym in Minnesota. We appreciate you being on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Talk about how the fight week is starting off for you, and was there any challenges you had to overcome to be here?
Oh, there's always challenges. Fight week, you just have to expect the unexpected, and the unexpected will always happen. But yeah, we're getting through it.
And excited. How excited are you for the opportunity to fight again? We haven't seen you in action, since the pandemic, since you won the title in Invicta FC, and now you've signed a Bellator.
I'm really excited. I've been dealing with some health issues along with the pandemic, so it's been a long 2 years, and I'm super excited to get back in there and in the Bellator cage this time.
Definitely, and training for this fight against an opponent like Roberta Saimad. She's 5-1. How do you feel your preparation will be the difference between you and her?
I think I'm just more well-rounded. I work everything evenly, whether it's the striking, jiu-jitsu, wrestling. I mean, I give them all equal time, even if I don't like one very much. So I think that'll be the difference.
And is your goal this year to fight multiple times after this fight, just to make up for lost time?
Yes, that would be ideal. I'm hoping, if all goes well in this fight, kind of come out without any injuries or anything. I mean, I'm hoping to get back in there at least once this year, or at least once more this year.
And definitely. And how do you feel like your training partners at the Cellar have contributed to your success so far? That you won the Invicta FC Women's Featherweight Championship. You now got signed to Bellator.
We have a small MMA team, but we have so many different looks, whether they're wrestlers, whether they're straight strikers or straight jiu-jitsu people, that, I mean, they throw everything at me. So yeah, my training partners have just, everybody's really been on point lately.
Definitely. And I know Cris Cyborg, you enter into women's featherweight division, and Cris Cyborg is the champion, and you and her names have come up before for potential fight. She's mentioned you. So how do you feel about her as the champion here in Bellator?
I would love the opportunity to fight her. I mean, I know my opponent is also, kind of making her, she hasn't fought in Bellator in 5 or 6 years. I'm hoping after this fight to get a ranked opponent so I can get one step closer to fighting Cris, because that's the ultimate goal, is to fight the champ and, be the new champ.
For sure. Also battle of the former Invicta FC champions too.
Yeah, exactly.
And is it exciting that, you're making your debut in front of fans for the Bellator instead of?
Yeah, I actually just heard, I think last night they were talking about it, that they're letting fans in this time. So I'm really excited to be back in there and to have fans in there again.
Definitely. I mean, you got the chance to, fight in front of fans during your Invicta FC run as well. So I'm sure you're excited that they'll be there supporting you.
Yeah, definitely.
And now, what do you use for recovery during your training sessions to keep yourself getting back in there at 100%?
For recovery, I don't do anything outside the norm. I mean, I go and I get a massage and do cupping every once in a while. I just recently started doing that, and I'll do an ice bath here or there. But I mean, other than that, I don't do supplements. I eat what I need, and I sleep a lot. Well, I think a lot of people would say that I sleep a lot. I take a nap during the day and get my 8 hours at night. But I think that's the best form of recovery.
For sure. And then talk also about how excited you are for Invicta FC, that they are doing a lot of things with the women's MMA, even after, you've gone, and how excited you are for the future of women's MMA.
Yeah, a lot of us women fighters, we got our start in Invicta FC. So even if I don't fight for them anymore, I always want the best for them. So it's really exciting to me to see them kind of moving on up in the world and trying to expand their audience. So I'm really excited for them.
Definitely. And did you ever go back and look at the fight with Kaitlyn Young, since that was your last one? Anything you feel you had to address with your team, or?
I think the one thing is I feel like I almost respect my opponent too much in the opening round or the opening round and a half. I go in a little too cautious, and I want to go in there and start looking for finishes again. So, I mean, that's the one change that I would like to make, is to just not be so careful.
Definitely. And you feel like that if you do get the big finish, you might, have other women in the division that do want to fight you. This is a stacked division, and you'll garner their attention. Yeah,
that's the hope. I mean, I want people to want to fight me. I want them to see my fight and say like, hey, that looks like a challenge. I want to fight her. So definitely.
Anyone in particular that you look at that you think would make a great matchup?
Well, obviously Cyborg is the ultimate goal. But there's some others too. The ones that are up there at the top, Kat Zingano, Leslie Smith, Arlene Blanco, who I think is still in the US looking for another fight before she's allowed to go back home. So I think maybe she'd be up for it.
Definitely. And what can we expect this upcoming Friday, Bellator 264, in your fight against Roberta Saimad?
You can just expect volume. I'm definitely more of a volume fighter, so I'm gonna go in there. I'm gonna bring it. So
definitely.
Expect a fight.
Cool. Well, we appreciate you being on the Fightlete Report today, and everybody check out Pam Bam Sorenson and her main event and her main card fight at Bellator 264, Friday, August 13th. Check it out on Showtime when she takes on Roberta Saimad. And we appreciate you again being on the show.
Yeah, thank you.
Anytime.